Every person on this earth will experience a season of singleness. In this world, we have been fed the lie that if we are not in a relationship or not in love, we are missing out. Singleness is frowned upon and often stigmatized. In God's eyes, this is not true. Singleness can be one of the best stages of life that one can be in, provided that it is lived and experienced correctly within biblical means. Singleness can be a great blessing. After all, Adam was created single and in harmony with God for a period of time until God gave him a partner. For some of us, we have been called to marriage, while others have been called to a life of singleness. If you have been called to marriage, or in other words, you have a desire to get married, the season of singleness can be painful, especially if you are actively looking to get married. It is essential that the time we spend being single is not wasted, as the time spent in singleness is often our best time to do what we want. Here are 4 things you can do while you are in your season of singleness to ensure that it is used wisely. Number 1. Build your relationship with God. Obviously, this is the bedrock foundation that you need to develop and solidify while you are in the single season. Before you walk with another person, you need to learn how to walk with God, lest you place a burden on your future partner. Develop your relationship with God to the point where God Himself and God alone is sufficient for you. Prayer, reading the Word, and living for Him all contribute to developing a relationship with God. He should be your primary source and your primary priority. When you make God the center of your life, all other things will come into alignment and be placed in its proper focus. In Psalm 1, we see a promise from God that if we place Him first, we will prosper in whatever we do because it is in line with what God wants for us. In Psalm 1 it states, "Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on His law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by the streams of water, which yields fruit in its season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers." So let us make sure that the solid rock, which is Jesus Christ, is our solid rock too. Being single places you in the greatest position to do God's work, while being married means that we will be focused on the needs of our spouse. Paul does not say that this is a bad thing, but rather praises singleness because it allows us to build our relationship with God to the point where we are completely dedicated and effective for Him. So while we are in the season of singleness, develop your relationship with God and allow yourself to be used by Him. Number 2, focus on your work and your career. When our mind is focused on what we want relationship-wise, we can find ourselves daydreaming and wasting time. It is important to note that when Adam was formed, he was given work to do before he was given a partner. To ensure that you do not drain your partner financially and emotionally, it is better to establish your own life first. Get a job, find your career or calling, and walk in it. Invest in the path that you are on. Grow and try to climb up the ladder that you are on. It is important to focus on your work and your career because it will ensure that you have financial stability in your life. Your single years provide you with ample time to work on this. When you get into a relationship, you will find out that you won't have enough time to invest in this area like you did when you were single. Maybe you are in a position where you are looking at starting a business, working for a company, or trying to find a job, but you are unsure of what to do or where to go. In Psalm 90 verse 17, it states, "May the favor of the Lord our God rest on us. Establish the work of our hands for us." Yes, establish the work of our hands. God's favor and providence is upon you. He will establish the work of your hands. He will direct you to the correct places, and He will ensure that you are at the right place at the right time to meet the right people, to get the right opportunities. Trust Him with your life and your life path, and let God develop it for His purposes. Number 3, networking. It is surprising how many people expect their future spouse to drop from the sky onto their front door. When you are single, you are free to speak to whomever you want. Don't spend your days at home all the time wallowing and complaining that there is no one out there for you. Take advantage of your single status and go out. Spend time with friends, meet the friends of your friends, volunteer at church, or even go to a social institution and give some time there. Take time out to meet other people, get to know them, see what they do, find out about their life story. You would be surprised what people will tell you. Networking can help you build connections that will help you in life. They can help you advance your career, help you meet the right person, and you may even discover people who will be great friends to help you in your journey of life. If you are introverted, find an extroverted friend and stick with them to help you meet other people. It is imperative that we network and do life with other people, because as Ecclesiastes 4 states, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if 2 lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves, and a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Clearly, we can see that God wants us to network, to talk to people, to go out. In the Great Commission, Jesus told us that we are to go out into all the world to preach the gospel. Obviously, that's going to involve talking to people. So while we are single, we should go out and network and connect with people, get to know them, preach the gospel to them, and let God do the work. Number 4, develop your interests and character. When you are single, it is essential to invest in yourself. Many of you may have an idea of what you would like your future spouse to be. You want them to have a great mindset, beautiful looks, independence, and so on. Well, would the spouse that you would love to be with want to be with a person like you? If the answer is no, you need to reflect on yourself. When you are single, you have the time you need to upskill yourself, develop your skills, talents, and abilities. You need to become a whole and complete person before you are ready to even enter a relationship. Singleness provides the best opportunity to become a whole person, developing yourself to become the best version of you that you can be. You see, when Christ died for us, He wanted us to obtain salvation through His sacrifice, allowing us to become the best version of ourselves that we can be. In Ephesians 4, it states, "You were taught, with regard to your former way of life, to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness." Invest in yourself. Allow God to change you for the better. Let Him remove all the bad habits, negativity, and selfishness. Let God sanctify you and make you a true beacon of light, representing God and all He stands for. In singleness, this is a very good and attractive thing to do. That will make you stand out for God, and it might even catch the eye of potential partners. Improving yourself shouldn't be done just so that you can get someone, but out of a love and reverence for God, having a desire to live for Him and represent Him in all things. The life of singleness presents you with the best opportunity to build your life, to build your aspirations, build your career, build your relationships with God and with other people. It is best that you take the time wisely to develop yourself, to develop your identity, to know who you are, know who your God is, so that you can be a fully functional, whole person in society and in life. Doing so sets you up for success, and doing so also places you in the best possible position to be used of God mightily for His purposes. Work with Him in the season of singleness and watch what He can do with your life. Let us continue to walk in the light as He is in the light.